sure. It's the Charlotte 300 for late model sportsmen. It's the richest purse ever in this class of racing, and it promises to be a terrific head-to-head battle between the Silver Fox himself, David Pearson, and Dave Marcus, a hard-charging competitor with a hard luck history. And then the direction is due west to the Pacific Coast for the International Gymnastics Classic, as a select field of international gymnasts vie for the title of all-around champion. Today's field includes the 1980 NCAA champion Jim Hartog and a rising star from the land of the rising sun, Toshiomi Nishiki, plus the world champion Bart Connor in a dual role, that of NBC sports commentator and gymnastics competitor. And then it's by Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, the Brewers of Michelob. Put a little weekend in your week. By new gas-saving Pennzoil, quality in every extra mile. Ask for it. And by Champion Spark Plug Company. Champion, world's #1 seller. World is in the deep south, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, at one of the prettiest racetracks in the United States, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hi, I'm Paul Page, and we are here for the Charlotte 300 for late model sportsmen. Now, this track surface is brand new, and it's having some effect on the tires. It's having some effect on the speeds. In fact, we have a new track record here for the late model sportsmen, and we have two very fast men on the front row, Dave Marcus and David Pearson. Right now, they're down on pit road with Gary Gerald.
Well, indeed, you're right, Paul. Record speed here at Charlotte. On the pole, car number 4, Dave Marcus, alongside the veteran driver, David Pearson. These two have had a tremendous rivalry this year in one previous event that was decided by a matter of feet. Dave Marcus, you ended up on the short side of that battle at Darlington. What's going to happen here today at Charlotte?
I hope I don't end up on the short side today, but no, David's always the one to beat, and he's in a very good car, and I am too.
You figure that the race is going to be definitely decided right here in the front row?
I have a good feeling it may be, yes.
All right, Dave Marcus's side, over here, Dave Pearson. David, do you feel that this is definitely a front row race? Is it going to be strictly between you two, or what about the guys behind you?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, of course, there's a lot of good cars behind us, and they're all running real good, but I'd be happy if it comes down between Dave and myself.
You like it to come down to those close finishes that the fans and we love?
It's good for the fans and good for the race, but myself, I'd like to be about 5 laps ahead.
Well, we'll soon find out. 300 miles ahead here at Charlotte. Let's go back upstairs to Paul Page in the starting lineups.
Thank you, Gary. On the pole then in number 4 is Dave Marcus. He has the new track record, 163.340 miles an hour. David Pearson in his number 21 Pontiac alongside. David is considered the most popular driver by his own competitors. The inside of the second row, number 2, a Pontiac driven by Dale Earnhardt, whose father, Ralph Earnhardt, was a champion here.
Our next qualifier, Paul, number 31, car qualified by Darrell Waltrip, but Billy Harvey from Florida will be the driver today.
In number 84, Mike Alexander. He's only 23 years old, but he's been driving for 7 years.
Outside row 3, number 98, Georgia's Jody Ridley, familiar name in the late model sportsman ranks.
On the inside of the 4th row, in number 77, the fastest qualified Chevrolet is driven by Harry Gant.
Row number 4 outside, car number 66 from Missouri, young Rusty Wallace, winner of 6 major events already this year. He's in a Ventura.
On the inside of the 5th row, car number 99, Jeff Bodine, who's really made a name for himself as a modified driver.
And rounding out the top 10, car number 11, the Iron Man, Jack Ingram, former 3-time National Late Model Sportsman champion. He's in a Nova.
And there's the rest of the field as we're ready for the start of the Charlotte 300. As 44 late model sportsmen begin to pull off of the pits. We'll be back for the start right after this. It's a beautiful afternoon at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Paul Page with Gary Gerald, and 44 late model sportsmen are coming toward the green flag for the start of 300 miles that will end up in the richest purse in late model sportsman racing. And the green flag flies, and Dave Marcus, chased by David Pearson, across the line and head down toward the first turn.
indicated, we've had record speed already. Marcus and Pearson in the front row, but we certainly can't overlook Dale Earnhardt. He's a familiar name, a tremendous amount of experience in these cars and also the Grand National cars. He should be right there knocking on the door as well.
David Pearson out to make a move, pulls alongside Dave Marcus, forces his way past in the third turn, and David Pearson skating just a little bit on the new surface of this racetrack is able to overhaul first place. Pearson coming toward the line now with Marcus right behind Dale Earnhardt third. So lap number 1 completed with David Pearson in the lead. Marcus is in second. Earnhardt is in third.
A bit of a surprise, Paul, on the fact that those top 3 cars have very quickly been able to pull away from the rest of the field. We say a bit of a surprise because there's a tremendous amount of experience further back in the pack. There are drivers who have plenty of experience in both the Grand National and the Sportsman cars. We would anticipate that there may be as many as a dozen drivers who have a good opportunity of possibly winning this race this afternoon.
And just as we expected, too, the battle at the front is extremely fast. And these 2 drivers, Pearson in 21 in the lead and Marcus in 4 in second place, are trying one another here in the first couple of laps. So they both want to lead this very badly.
And, of course, the reason they want to lead so badly is the fact that with a $140,000 purse on the line, the winner today is going to get somewhere in the vicinity of $20,000. These are veteran drivers who are used to running the 500-milers on the weekend, so I would imagine in one sense 300 miles this afternoon is almost a bit of a sprint for them.
David Pearson is running the straightaways very strong. His motor really pulling him down the straight sections. And Marcus is able to use a little more of the racetrack. Look at him skate up high. And he is coming through the corners, able to close up on Pearson.
All here in the pits, one of the primary concern, of course, regards tire wear. You may recall that a year ago here we had some problems. The new asphalt surface was only in turns 3 and 4. There were adhesion problems because the traction was too good. Consequently, it was tough on tires. Now we have the new surface all the way around. All these crews are wondering today, will the tires be able to hold up for the 300 miles? Early indications certainly would be that everybody's getting pretty good traction, at least in that front row, where Pearson and Marcus continue to hold a comfortable advantage over the rest of the field in the early going.
Well, David Pearson is holding just a slight lead over Dave Marcus, and then a tremendous battle is developing for third place at this moment. But Pearson has led right from the start, and Marcus now seems content to lie back in second position. Here is Mike Alexander going around Dale Earnhardt and picking up third place. But you can see third is still anybody's battle between Earnhardt, Alexander, and Jody Ridley. When this race started, the number 31 car was assigned to Darrell Waltrip, but Billy Harvey has started in that car as a result of a conflict that has developed in the team between Waltrip and the team owners, and we have yet to see how that will resolve itself. David Pearson leads Dave Marcus, but here, a tremendous battle for third place as Dale Earnhardt is able to push past Mike Alexander, now alongside Alexander as they both battle for third, and Jody Ridley skates back and forth in this dance for third place coming off of the 4th turn.
Paul, you mentioned this great young driver by the name of Alexander in car number 84 who's involved in that battle. Mike Alexander is a protege of Darrell Waltrip. Darrell used to drive for Mike Alexander's father. Waltrip has been down in the Alexander pit this afternoon, and if anybody's cheering on, the man behind the wheel of number 84, Darrell Waltrip, has got to be that man.
And Mike Alexander now pushing alongside Dale Earnhardt, and this battle for third place has really turned out to be something, especially here in the early going, as Jody Ridley, now using the low side of the racetrack, challenges Dale Earnhardt. So a tremendous battle for third, and a very fast fight out in front as David Pearson leads Dave Marcus. There's more to come from Charlotte, but let's jump across the country to Los Angeles and our sometimes racing colleague. Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we still have a tremendous battle between David Pearson and Dave Marcus. But there's other action today on NBC Sports World. From Atlantic City, New Jersey, the man they call Minnesota Fats hosts the Professional Trick Shot Invitational. But coming up next, it's the rings competition at the International Gymnastics Classic, when NBC Sports World continues. Page at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're here for the Charlotte 300 for late model sportsmen. We've had a blistering race so far. Let's go to the pits and Gary Gerald.
Well, into the second half of this race, you've still got Pearson and Marcus continuing their battle as it started from the front row. But right now, the problem that they face is catching the 2 cars right in front of them. Ray Hendrick is setting a sizzling pace, and Dale Earnhardt, who managed to unlap himself with some much better fortune than he had early in the competition, is now right there knocking on the door. It shapes wraps up with a tremendous 4-car battle, and there's a couple of others not too far up the track.
Well, the fight at this moment, Gary Gerald is in the front row for the first spot as Dale Earnhardt pulls down low on Ray Hendrick and slides past. But Hendrick is not going to have any part of it. He's moving low on the race course, trying Earnhardt low. And Ray Hendrick pushes past Earnhardt. So Hendrick will come across the line once again. Scored as first place. Earnhardt in second, but David Pearson now challenging Earnhardt. And Pearson pushes alongside and picks up second place. Dale Earnhardt being forced back to third. That is Dave Marcus sitting in fourth place. An incredible battle at the front of this Charlotte 300 at well over halfway.
Paul, an interesting story with Ray Hendrick. Here's a man who's been driving race cars for over 30 years. He says this has been the worst late model sportsman season he's ever had. A man who's won something like 700 features in his career, but right now he's got everything going his way at Charlotte.
But David Pearson is knocking hard on Hendrick's back door as they encounter slower traffic now. Pearson set up right on Hendrick's bumper. Dale Earnhardt skating back and forth. He's running a little bit looser as they come down the back straightaway. Now Pearson's going to try low. Will Hendrick hold him off? He does indeed. Hendrick still sailing in first place, but he skates a little bit coming through the fourth turn. And sitting back in fifth place, here comes Jody Ridley. So tremendous battle up front. 4 cars right together, and Ridley sitting back in fifth place. We've got trouble. A car into the wall. He's still rolling, though. Number 62 is Rick Wilson. He hit the wall hard. Heavy damage to the right side of the car. Wilson is going to try to drive it back to the pits, but the yellow flag is out. This would be an opportune moment for a number of the crews to make pit stops. Many of the teams getting ready now, prepared for their cars to come in. David Pearson already heading down into the pit area for some fast service from his team. There is some debris on the race course, so the yellow flag will remain out. Let's go down to Gary Gerald.
Car number 21, David Pearson, one of the first in the pits, automatically getting fuel, topping off the tank. It looks like right side rubber as well from his crew. Also in the pit, here's Dale Earnhardt, car number 2. He's getting fresh rubber on the right side. All the leaders taking a chance to stop. Dave Marcus, who's been there from the beginning, also getting fresh rubber. A rather lengthy stop, it would appear at this point for Pearson, as Earnhardt is one of the first to get back onto the track. And now Pearson in car number 21 is also pushed away.
And Earnhardt, as a result of his pit stop, picks up number 1. Here is Dave Marcus heading back into the action after a lengthy pit stop, both for himself and for David Pearson. Let's go to Pearson's pit and Gary Gerald.
Ricky Pearson here, who is working on David Pearson's crew, his son, who's heading up the activities here. Ricky, at this point, you've got a tremendous battle up front. How do you see this race progressing now in the final laps?
Well, it's hard to tell right now. It's so early in the race, and we've got like 4 or 5 cars to beat, and you can't ever tell, you know, until the flag drops.
Are you satisfied with the way your car's working at this point?
So far, you know, he kind of keeps it to himself, how the car always does until the end. So we're not sure, you know. But right now, we're satisfied.
All right, Ricky Pearson, he's keeping an eye on things here for David Pearson, his father, the number 21 car.
Thank you, Gary Gerald. A very busy time down in the pits, but now they're heading back toward the green flag. The faster cars on the high side, the slower cars down low, and Dale Earnhardt out in front, who has picked up first place as a result of good service from his crew. Jody Ridley is in second place as we're back to racing in the Charlotte 300 for late model sportsmen. But David Pearson and Dave Marcus both had lengthy stops, not nearly the service that Dale Earnhardt got, and as a result, they have dropped down in position. David Pearson now running in 5th. Dave Marcus is running in 9th place. Marcus having extra problems. We'll have Gary Gerald check on that and report back in just a moment. Dale Earnhardt leads, Jody Ridley in 2nd, and in 3rd place is Ray Hendrick. Let's go down to the pits with Gary Gerald.
The problem here for Dave Marcus is a lug nut on the right front that they can't get clear. They have not been able to change the tire on the right front. He's been in twice, but now the green flag is back out. He's caught on the racetrack. They're wearing. They want to get him in to change it, but of course they won't do it right now on the green until they absolutely have to.
Thank you, Gary Gerald. We'll continue to monitor the progress of Dave Marcus as Sports World continues with the Charlotte 300 right after this. Back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Glenn Jarrett has blown an engine. The yellow is out once again, and Dave Marcus is into the pits for a report. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Here's Dave Marcus in the number 4 car getting a fresh fresh drink. They had to come in to try to go to work on that pesky right front. A lug nut stuck on there. Now they're trying to make the change, and hopefully this time it's a little bit smoother as far as the Marcus crew is concerned. In fact, now they've elected to change rubber on the left side as well. So the right front problem has been taken care of. Another member of the crew taking a good close look at it as they exchange left side rubber. Other leaders have already come and gone. They're back on the track, but under this yellow flag condition, this should not hurt Dave Marcus.
Well, Gary Gerald, Dale Earnhardt, David Pearson, Ray Hendrick, our leaders prior to the yellow, all have made their pit stops. And as a result of that, David Rogers in number 22 is our leader, coming back to the green flag once again. But Dale Earnhardt and David Pearson are both set up behind Rogers. And as the green flag flies over Charlotte Motor Speedway, Dale Earnhardt has already begun his charge. David Pearson moving to the high side. Earnhardt comes around Rogers, and now David Pearson is also making his pass. So Earnhardt is in first. Pearson is in second. But Dave Marcus is now once again a factor in this race. Earlier he had problems with his machine, but there he goes around the number 11 car of Jack Ingram. And Dave Marcus has set his sight on the front of this field, currently led by Dale Earnhardt. But here comes David Pearson, using up a little more of the racetrack. He pulls up right behind Earnhardt and is ready to make his bid for the lead. Pearson moving down low, sliding up alongside Earnhardt. Pearson a bid for number 1 spot, and Pearson goes around, picking up the lead from Dale Earnhardt. So once again, a lead change once again. David Pearson is back in front as they head down the backstretch at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, one of the prime concerns, the veterans have dominated this race, but they know that you have to stay out of trouble. There are many drivers in this field who have limited super speedway experience. It has not been a problem thus far this afternoon.
Here is Dave Marcus. He is set up behind David Rogers now as he threads his way up through the field. He's really caught fire now that he has solved his problems in the pits. His problems in the pits simply a lug nut. That doesn't affect speed, and as you can see, he is charging for the front, goes around David Rogers, and now is setting his sights on these two men. David Pearson, who leads, and Dale Earnhardt, who is in second.
Paul, we can't also forget the great job that Ray Hendrick has done. He's currently holding down third place. He has won twice in his career here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and he's done a magnificent job coming from 21st to run with the leaders, currently in third position as he chases Pearson and Earnhardt.
Well, Gary, now the leader's serial consists of 4 cars. David Pearson in first, Dale Earnhardt in second, and this tremendous battle for third place between Marcus on the outside and Ray Hendrick on the inside. Now, Marcus turns on the power on the backstretch and just cruises past Ray Hendrick and moves into third place, and ever so quickly begins to close up on the battle for the lead. There are the first 4 cars right together on the race course. And Dave Marcus, who had problems earlier on, is suddenly a factor in the fight for the lead once again. He moves out alongside Dale Earnhardt. Now is battling for second place and pushes a nose ahead of Earnhardt. Tremendous power and excellent handling on that number 4 machine. Now on the backstretch, Marcus sets his sights on David Pearson and the number 1 spot. And at the same time, Ray Hendrick pulls low on Dale Earnhardt, and Hendrick is able to go around Earnhardt and pick up third place. So the first 4 cars battling. Also this battle for 5th place. Here is Jody Ridley in number 98 as he moves around the 99 car of Jeff Bodine and picks up 5th place. David Pearson now leading Dave Marcus, but Marcus is not to be denied. He drives Pearson high on the race course. Can't get the job done and settles the fall back behind Pearson. Onto the backstretch. Marcus pulling power now. Gets in the draft of Pearson's car. Gets down on the inside. And Marcus has moved into first place. What an incredible drive by Dave Marcus, who has now picked up position number 1 after having trouble in the pits earlier in the day. He is your leader. David Pearson is in second. Ray Hendrick is in third.
Earlier today, Paul, Marcus and Pearson both relived that Darlington finish. It was just a couple of feet separating the two. Marcus has now battled all the way back. He leads Pearson. They've set the stage for another dramatic finish, but this time here at Charlotte.
So with just a handful of laps remaining, we're expecting an exciting finish here at the Charlotte 300 for late model Sportsman. But now, let's look at a different kind of racing. Last Monday, when the 85th running of the Boston Marathon yielded a course record to the men's winner, Japan's Toshihiko Seiko, and to the women's winner, Alison Rowe of New Zealand. But the marathon is more than just... We're in the closing laps now of the Charlotte 300. I'm Paul Page with Gary This is the richest late model race in the United States. And just a few moments ago, Dale Earnhardt appeared to be suffering from some problem and had dropped back to 4th place. Now, he has moved back up into 2nd place, ahead of David Pearson, and right behind Dave Marcus, the leader. Marcus has been an important story all afternoon. Earlier in the going, he had trouble with the changing of a tire, but his crew did fantastic work, got him rolling again, and now he is leading the Charlotte 300 with just a few laps to go, and doing so handily at an average speed just over 121 miles an hour.
Well, the thought occurs as we watch these 3 veteran drivers circle this racetrack in and out of the traffic, the fact that they're driving cars that are somewhat smaller than the Grand National cars they normally drive. The wheelbase is shorter. They weigh some 300 pounds less. The drivers say that these cars are much twitchier on the racetrack. They're tougher to handle. Corner speeds are higher than the big cars they normally drive, but yet, after running nearly 300 miles this day, there hasn't been a close call among the leaders. So dominant has been their position throughout this 300 miles of competition at Charlotte.
And Gary Gerald, we expect, without any yellow flags between now and the finish, this race to run at record speed and to be an incredible battle between these 3 cars. They have all tested one another back and forth. We've got trouble in the first turn. A bad accident. Gene Glover's number 71 car flipping end over end. The other car, Jarrett, car number 8. Jarrett unbuckling, now climbing out of his machine. No movement on Glover's car. And Jarrett is hurt. He falls to the ground, rolls over. Still no movement out of Glover's car. The fire crews are on the way, though there is no fire on either machine. That white vapor is steam coming out of Jarrett's engine, but he is now lying still on the ground. Gene Glover, we can just barely see, is moving around in his car. The fire crews are there. One of them is talking with Glover. He's apparently all right, but shaken up. But Jarrett is lying on the ground. He's not moving a great deal. He might be seriously hurt. His car appeared to just center punch Glover's spinning race car. An incredible accident down between the first and second turn here at Charlotte. Looking at it one more time, there is Glover. He is spinning, and Jarrett just hits him right square center in the back of the car. Now Glover goes upside down once, continues rolling upside down a second time. Jarrett's car is just slowly sliding along the racetrack. A pirouette out of Glover's car, a third time upside down. It's going over again and again. The 5th time upside down, and finally rolls to a stop right side up. Both drivers badly shaken up. An incredible accident here in the closing laps, and the yellow flag is now out. The pace car out on the track to pick up the field, and it has trouble. Jeff Bodine has slammed into the pace car. So 2 accidents, one involving the pace car here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The yellow flag is out. Just a few laps to go to the finish. We'll be back. The yellow is out at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've had 2 accidents, one involving the pace car, as the white flag comes out over the field, telling Dave Marcus that he will now cruise at slow speed on to victory. 1 lap to go. It will be run under the yellow. In the accident involving Gene Glover and Dale Jarrett, both drivers were shaken up. Neither driver was seriously injured. Jeff Bodine was running in 5th place when he ran into the pace car, apparently hitting a spot of oil on the racetrack and sliding up into the pace car. So Dave Marcus, under reduced speed, now brings the field around. He will go to the checkered flag at this crawl. And while on one hand, he always liked to win, I don't think there's any race driver that likes to do it under the yellow flag. Dave Marcus, car number 4, it's Dale Earnhardt right behind him on the backstretch as they still try and clear the debris from that accident. Out in between the first and second turn, the preliminary medical report from the accident, Gene Glover badly shaken up. Jarrett possibly has suffered a broken leg. Fortunately, though, no serious injuries as a result of that tremendous accident. Now Dave Marcus, ever so slowly, brings the field around following the second pace car of the day to be sent out. Dale Earnhardt is in second. A checkered flag ready to be displayed, signaling the end of 300 miles of late model sportsman racing. 300 miles that we expected to be a tremendous finish. Finishes now under the checkered flag, the yellow flag also being displayed. And Dave Marcus, who has had a lot of bad luck in his career, takes home a win from the Charlotte 300. The unofficial results of finish: Marcus in first, Dale Earnhardt second, David Pearson third, Ray Hendrick, who started 21st, ends up in fourth, and Jody Ridley in fifth. And as Leo and Richard Jackson and the rest of the crew push Marcus's car up into the victory circle, there is, of course, another way to leave the track. Gene Glover's machine is doing just that on the back of a wrecker. Let's go down to victory circle and Gary Gerald.
David, a victory kiss here. This is one of those peculiar situations where you have a tremendous battle. It looked like it might come down to the last couple of feet, and then all of a sudden the yellow, it slows the pace. Your feelings about how this one turned out?
Well, you know, it was a super race, and the car worked good all day, and I just hope that no one's hurt in the accident. It looked like a pretty bad wreck, and just asked everybody to say a prayer for those drivers and hope that they're all right. And as far as our car went, it was just super all day long.
Is this one of those situations where you feel like the little guy has conquered one of the big mountains?
Well, I've been up and I've been down, and, you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
And it's great to win.
Well, I know that there's a great sense of accomplishment and feeling despite that crash over there. We had a preliminary look over there, and the first reports we had were very favorable concerning those drivers, so we're pleased to pass that along to you. I know you're worried about it.
Yes, I am. That's good to hear.
All right, congratulations again, Dave Marcus. He's won the 300-miler for late model Sportsman at Charlotte. Let's go back upstairs to Paul Page.
Thank you, Gary Gerald. The results are now being posted as official. Dave Marcus, congratulations to him, the winner at the Charlotte 300 for late model Sportsman. I'm Paul Page with Gary Gerald. So long from Sports World.